Sat Shri Akal students, welcome to the second lecture of Estimating and Costing in Electrical Engineering. We'll be discussing the essential elements of estimating and costing in this lecture. Now, after the approval of the proposed project, at the point of electrical project initiation, the knowledge of material required for that project and estimate and cost involved in is very essential in order to prepare the design details and the list of the material required for that project. Therefore, the estimator should be able to judge all these essential elements of estimating and costing. We'll be following these in detail. The first one is the Performa for making estimates. Performa is basically a specific format in which you can put all the financial calculations. Actually, it shows all the revenue projections, then estimated expenses of the project, and the cash flow for completing a project. We'll be going through different kinds of performers for all the elements of estimating and costings. The second is specification of material. Now, the specification actually describes the details of the product, material, and the work required as per the technical standards. This is very much essential at the time of estimation and pricing. Now, it will be very much difficult in order to purchase a material from market without the knowledge of these specifications. We can take an example, say for the electrical installation of a holder, we need to choose a specific type of holder. Say. Now, in the absence of all the detailed specifications, it would be very hard for the shopkeeper also to provide the correct material because there are a number of holders present in the market, say pendant holders, baton holders, or screw type holders. Thus, the specification has a high significance. Now, third is the preparation of material schedule costing. Now, the proposed electrification project for a building, there has to be determination of required material and the cost as well. So, we can say the project is completed in two steps. The first will be quantity of the material and the cost determination. And the second would be determining of the labor charges. Now, as we are seeing, it is planning of purchase of materials during various stages of the project. Now, an estimator generally calculates the cost as well as the required quantity of the materials at an early stage before he's executing the project. A simple basic performa required for this purpose is shown in the form of a table, where the first is description of the material, and of course with complete specifications, and then unit, quantity, rate, amount, and remarks if needed any. We've taken an example of a double pole ironclad main switch, 30 ampere rating with 250 volt rate. Now, in remarks, we have written that it is to be used as a main switch. The quantity required 1 and the rate is 190. So the total amounts to be 190. So this is the simplest performer for this purpose. We can explain the procedure with the help of an example, say, talking of electrification of a electrification project for a building. Now, while determining the quantity of material for any building, it is essential to prepare a plan of the building, marking electrical points, switchboard, and main board, which actually constitute energy meter and main switchboard on the plan through approved electrical symbols. Now the control route starting from the main switchboard to each of the switchboards and then from the switchboard to electrical points is marked on this plan. And as such, this plan becomes the basis of the estimate. The wiring is also done separately in a different wiring diagram. The material on the main board is further calculated, such as the main switch for the board, then the board for the main switch, wire required for wiring the main board, etc. Further, conduit or batten required is calculated on the basis of this particular installation plan only. The wire for wiring the building is then calculated sub-circuit wise, and this too is done on the basis of installation plan. And in the last, the total length for the earth wire required is calculated. Now, a few appliances like switches, sockets, outlets, then switchboards, lamp holders can be directly calculated from the installation plan. Next comes the price list. Now, by the market survey, the estimator gets the price list of materials from the shopkeepers, in which they have quoted the retail as well as the wholesale prices according to the local market rates. And now this list is updated timely, and the latest price list is considered at the time of the estimation. The price list performer is shown as under the name of the firm, then applicable with effect from the date. Latest date is shown here, and then name of the item along with its specification, the requirement, its cost, and in case any remarks are to be given. And of course, all the price list include certain terms and conditions of supply. Like we've quoted a few, for example, the above price list. I mean, this is for the particular format that is supplied by some supplier. The above price list is latest and all the lists issued before this date should stand cancelled. Then say 10% discount will be given on bulk purchases, and he again offers 1% discount on the cash payments. Then comes the prices say of the material can increase or decrease due to the change of prices from time to time. Hence, the given price list is only an indicative one. Now, somebody can say all the prices in the list are X godown or X workshop. Then the packing, delivery, dispatch, freight, insurances, etc. will be extra. Now, all the taxes as sales tax, octroi, local tax as applicable will be charged extra. Or the payment is to be made within 1 week of the delivery. These are actually the conditions given by the retailer or the supplier. Next is the net price list. Now, net price of an item is that price in which all the imposed taxes, for example, central sales tax, then excise duty or other local taxes are all included. That means net prices are inclusive of these taxes. Normally, above mentioned taxes are not included in the price list as we discussed before. These days, GST has subsumed a number of indirect taxes, including the excise duty. Again, we have a format of the same. It's the name of the item. Here we've considered a combined 15 ampere switch and socket, a 3-pin one. Let the price be rupees 40. Now the supplier is giving a 10% of discount on the price. That means discount of 0.04%. Sorry, a discount of 4 rupees. That means the balance would be rupees 36. Now again he is offering sales tax of 5% at the balance. That means at rupees 36. That counts to be 1.80. Therefore the total or the net price would be the balance as well as the sale tax. Now in this case also there are certain terms and conditions as quoted by the supplier or the retailer, or we can say the wholesaler. Like he can say all the materials are X shop, 10% discounts will be given on cash payments for bulk purchases. All the above prices are net prices and include excise duty, central sales tax, etc. Local taxes can be borne or are to be borne by the purchaser. Next comes the market survey. Now, market survey is an investigation into the market for the particular product or service, which includes the analysis of consumers' requirements and preferences. The materials which are required for the completion of the project are purchased after preparing estimate and market survey. And market survey actually ensures that the market is purchased at the lowest price and constitutes the best of quality. We are not compromising the quality for the price. The purpose of the market survey is to gather information and provide the price variations and the quality variations offered by the different firms. Next comes the purchase system. The purchase department is responsible for all the purchasing, all the storage, and the issuing of the material required from time to time for the project in hand. Now, this department makes purchases keeping in mind the best of quality and, of course, a cheap rate from the market. Now, for this purpose, the purchase department should always keep certain points in view, like market surveys should be conducted from time to time to know the latest prices of the materials. The material should be purchased, the quantity of which is on demand. The desired quantity of the material from project should be purchased on lowest marking rates. Again, here we are not compromising the quality. The purchase officer should keep a record of latest rates of various items likely to be purchased. Then some important material should be kept stored so that it is made available in the times of emergency. The account should be maintained in such a way that cost of the rejected material, that is the rejection made by the committee of experts, is deducted from the bill of the supplier. The purchase officer should seek approval of his senior before initiating any purchase. The quality and quantity should be got verified from the officer in charge of the project or by a team of experts which are appointed by certain senior officer before passing orders for making payment to the supplier. The first thing in this case is the procedure of the purchasing. The sequence followed for the purchasing is as such. First is requisition, then will be the call of quotations, then comparative statements, purchase order, inspection of material, release of payments as per terms and conditions. We'll start with the requisition first. Now, requisition is basically the demand of various items of material or quantity, which is obtained from different departments of the project in hand. Now, the list of items should consist of complete specifications of each of the item and its quantity required. Now, after the list is prepared by the department, it is finally sent to the purchase department, and the format on which it is submitted is known as a requisition form. Now, the requisition forms are always submitted in triplicates. One copy is given to the two copies are sent to the purchase department, and one copy is kept as a record with the department sending the requisition form. Next is call of quotations. Before discussing the call of quotations, we should know what a quotation is. Quotation is basically an offer in terms of rate, which are made by the supplier or the manufacturer or the dealer. Dealer here means the retailer or the wholesaler, and are in the form of a sealed envelope in reply to the quotation letter for the supply of material or for undertaking some work on the basis of certain terms and conditions. Now, the procedure for call of quotations is after receiving requisition from different departments, the purchase department issues letters to the registered suppliers for the call of the rate list. Now, these letters are issued as registered postal letters, and this sending of letters is known as actually calling of quotations. Now, the quotations are called in two ways. First, by issuing individual letters through register post to the suppliers, or secondly, by newspaper advertisements, which are also called tender notice. We'll be dealing with this tender notice in one of another lectures. Now, opening of the quotations. After the quotations are received, they are entered in a register as a receipt, which is maintained by the purchase department. These are opened then in front of three officers in the presence of suppliers or their representatives on the date and the time as mentioned in the quotation letter. The committee puts their signatures on each page of the quotations in order to seal the sent rates from further changes. A serial number is again put on each of the quotations while they are opening it. Say 1 by 7. That means first letter opened, first quotation opened out of the 7 quotations. Next is comparative statements. After opening the quotations, the purchase clerk prepares a comparative statement on a particular format. The actual aim of preparing a comparative statement is to make the comparison of rates which are quoted by different suppliers. Now, the committee of purchase officer, a technical advisor, and an account officer is constituted to examine each detail like the rates, terms of supply offered by each of the suppliers. The lowest rate offered by each firm are marked for the issue of supply order, and after ensuring the material quality offered for supply is exactly as per the required specification. And the last one is purchase order. Now, when the purchase officer has to place orders for, say, large scale purchases after the approval of quotations, then the administrative officers and the account officers' approval is necessary, so that necessary funds are made available or generated before the issue of supply order. The supplier selected above is issued purchase order for supply of the material strictly as per the quotation offered by the party on the given terms and conditions that are actually laid down on the quotation form. If the supplier fails to supply the material or violates the terms and conditions, the earnest money he has deposited is forfeited. Thank you for now, kids. We'll meet for the lecture third in next video.